I'm with Commdex. We've been in business for the last 18 years. What we do as a business is we build, design, and manage communication systems. What I mean by that is if you have people in the field who need to stay connected with each other, we kind of build systems that connect them with each other, whether it's sharing voice, video, or data. We build those communication systems. And what we use is the frequencies that FCC has. We use those frequencies as the highways to keep them connected. And the other thing we do is we keep the first responders in the field connected with the 911 systems or command center, whatever you may want to call it. So if you look at that triangle, sort of keeping these people connected when seconds can make a difference between life and death, that's what we do as a business. Firstly, I would not have been here was it not for the supplier diversity programs. I think when I came here 25 years ago, my first job was a minimum wage job, mopping floors. To go from there to where I'm sitting here today, that's a success story. That's an American dream that could not have been possible without the diversity programs. And to me, I think that's testament to the fulfillment of American dream, that if you come here and you're willing to work hard, there are opportunities here that you can realize your dream. And to be able to give my kids a future that even I could not have envisioned when I came here 25 years ago, that's the American dream, and I'm glad. And I think that's the power of diversity programs. More than individual, I think I think diversity spans to across the entire society. I think when you take, corporations obviously benefit because diverse suppliers, I think, as was mentioned earlier, are able to offer innovative solutions. They are able to offer cost-effective solutions. So I think that helps the corporations. But then I think it filters into the society because as diverse suppliers, we become the conduits of opportunities for other diverse individuals. I think we have been very fortunate to have the opportunities that the door was opened, that we could get in. But I think it's our obligation to take others with us through that door. And I think that's where I think the society benefits, is that there are opportunities for other diverse people to come in and be part of the organization. And then also I think if you look at it from the economy standpoint, if you look at how the economy grew from 2009 to 2017, that big part of the growth was growth of small, diverse businesses because the programs that were put in place with President Obama. And I think that's the power of diversity. And at the end of the day, it gets back to the federal government as well, because for every $100 that the federal government spends on diverse suppliers as part of Tier 1, that $40 comes back to the federal government as tax money. But as opposed to large businesses, only 20 to 25% of that comes back. So I think for the federal government as well, there's incentive because a lot of that money, and then the diverse suppliers, they typically are the biggest spenders as well. They give, so they don't just hoard that money, they give it back. So I think as an overall, this diversity, I like this initiative of FCC, I think in terms of encouraging diversity, because I think it has a effect more than beyond an individual. I think it leverages the entire society and entire ecosystem to really take the society forward. Experience kind of, in our family, nobody has ever done business. And back when I decided to go with business, it was because I felt that there was a need in the marketplace because all the public safety agencies are an island by themselves. What I mean by that is they could communicate very well within their jurisdiction, but they could not, God forbid it was a major disaster, they could not communicate across jurisdictions. That was the problem I wanted to solve. And 9 months later, fortunately, unfortunately, kind of 9/11 happened, and we were thrust into the public safety forum kind of from that perspective. But I did not have a good mentor until 5 years later. That's when I realized the importance. So company grew, but did not grow very well. But once I found the mentor, the business over the next 3 years, we were on Inc. 500 list of the fastest growing company. For the next 5 years, we're the fastest growing telecom company. And that would not have been possible had I not had mentor. And I'll talk to you about kind of communities, kind of. So 3 years ago, we came across an opportunity with Department of Interior. They have this big $3 billion contract they want to let out on field communications. And there's no way we could have done it by ourselves. but we put together a team of 14 companies, and some of them, half of them are multi-billion-dollar companies, half of them are small businesses, and we went after that contract. We're right now kind of in negotiations with the Department of Interior, competing against other multi-billion-dollar companies to win that contract. And that would not have possible if, number one, we had built that community and kind of go in as kind of a pool of businesses that can go and take down the opportunity. And then number two, I want to give credit to Andrew Bostock, who's here, who kind of put together the whole strategy in terms of how we can go after and win a truly game-changer contract for our company. And that is the power of collaborating across businesses, because even though you are small businesses, now by collaborating, you're really much bigger than you are. Like I said, I mean, I think when I started out, I did not have kind of, any understanding of the business. So I think learning the business was probably the biggest challenge. But I think in terms of pursuing the business, I'll tell you kind of when I was growing up, and I used to come home and complain to my mom, Mom, I can't do this because these guys are there and these guys are there. And my mom used to say this, is be so good, they can't ignore you. I'll repeat it again, be so good, they can't ignore you. And Oprah Winfrey had this quote that the excellence is the greatest deterrent to discrimination. Excellence is the greatest deterrent to discrimination. And that's why, as a company, we have invested in making sure that we are really the best in the industry. In terms of making sure that we have the ISO 9001 certification, making sure we have TL 9000 certification, making sure that we are, each of our managers is Six Sigma certified. So when we come across to our customers, they say, by God, this is the best telecom business that we want to do business with. That's what I want people to, when they have interaction with Commdex. So that's why kind of, as a company, we have grown, not because we were good at sales or marketing and all this stuff, because we were good at what we did, and we know what our niche is. Our niche is public safety communications. That's what we are good at. That's where we are the best in the business at. That's why we have done business in all 50 states across the country, because, and to me, I think if you are best at what you are, then people will seek you out. And that, I think, has been my personal experience. Along the way, kind of, I think another thing I would share as well is the conscious decision that I took was that I will never borrow money from anybody else. We have been profitable each and every year for the last 17 years in business, because of that, we have been debt-free along the way, kind of making sure that we grow the business responsibly so that during those times when business downturn does happen, I'm not losing my sleep because I know that I don't owe money to anybody else. That has been my advice, I would say. Don't grow just for the sake of growing, but grow because it is the right thing to do. I think, there are, now more than ever, there are a lot of opportunities for you to connect with capital. There is sites like Indiegogo, I guess, and others kind of where you can kind of share your idea and somebody who likes the idea can finance that idea. But also, I think there are opportunities. To me, I think the first thing that you need to do as a business is find a customer who's willing to pay. Because until there's a customer who's willing to pay, you don't have a business. You can get all the financing you want. So I think, you're planting a new seed. The first thing that seed needs to do is to find that root. If you don't find that root, that source of cash that will kind of sustain life for that seed, it ain't going to happen. So I think the first thing I would recommend is kind of find that seed, find that customer who can sustain that, and then business can go from there. But if there's one word one advice I would give is dare to dream big. Because dream has this incredible power to pull you. So it's kind of, I look at dream as like being a rubber band. So think of like, this is where you are currently, and this is, think of a rubber band connecting these two. The more you stretch it, if you keep your dream over here, it's going to pull you towards it. That's the power of dream. So dream big, but at the same time, make sure that you have the perseverance and the determination to follow that dream as well. Because pursuing a business, like esteemed panelists said, it's not easy. You're going to have struggles along the way. And how you persevere through the struggles is what defines you as a person. At the end of the day, I think success in business is not about how much money you have in the bank, but how much passion you have within you. The success in business, to me, is about, persevering through those struggles enjoying those triumphs. I mean, taking those risks and enjoying those rewards in the journey of creating something good, something really unique that you can offer to the world. That's what I think is fulfilling about running a business and giving back to the world. I think that to me, I think, dare to dream big and don't let anything compromise your dream.